Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial on the SMT store operator functions. We are going to review the physical count functionality. So in this video, we are going to first try to understand the physical count functionality, and then we are going to explain how to register data after we have conducted a stock count. So I'm going to log into the SMT as a store operator. I'm here in the SMT. I log in. This is my account. And I select store operator if I have more than one role. Click apply. So when I access the SMT as a store operator, the first thing that I'm going to see is my stock overview. So this is a generic view of all the items that I have in stock with the different details, batch numbers, stock balances total for the products and per batch as well. So this is a result of all the transactions that I have entered through the arrivals and issuing. However, once in a while, every certain period of time, it could be like a month or a quarter, you will be probably conducting an inventory count in your store. And if needed, you will need to correct some of these details. So for that purpose, we have in the SMT the physical count functionality. So here, if you come to physical count and adjustments, you can click on this tab, and you will see here a full list of all the products that you have. So BCG, BOPV, IPV, subdiluent, supplies, and so on. The list of the batch numbers and the quantity. This is what we call the system quantity. So it's the calculated quantity based on what you have registered, that you have received and you have issued. So if you conduct an inventory count, you can actually register here what is the real counted quantity, and the SMT will calculate if there is any discrepancy. So to do that, the first thing that you have to do is to select the type of adjustment. So in this case, now we are talking about doing a physical count. So I select physical count. As you can see here, my username is registered by default. So this is for tracking purposes. It will be registered in the system who is the user that has entered the data for the physical count. And we also have the option here to export this list. So what you can do is to click the export. You have the option to do it in PDF or in Excel. So let me click PDF, for example. And now I can open this. So I can print this list if I want. So I can have the list on paper and go with it to my store and write here the counted quantity, and once I have finished, I can come back and enter that information into the SMT. If you are using the SMT into a mobile phone or a tablet, it will be also possible to go directly to your store with your tablet or mobile device and start entering the data directly. But if not, as I said, you can also export the full list, print it, go do the data collection on paper, and then come back and start entering the data into your computer. For now, let's imagine that I have conducted my physical count. I have collected all the information, so I'm just coming back to the SMT now to enter the data. So what I have to do is, for each line, I come here to the action button and I'm going to click on the edit functionality. So this will open a new window, and here I can see my product and the batch number. So I just need to enter the counted quantity. So I have counted this and I have 2000 doses of this batch. So I enter 2000. Then the system is going to tell me that the theoretical quantity or the SMT quantity is 2000. The quantity that I have just counted is also 2000. So there is a discrepancy of 0. So that is okay. I can just save. Then I go to the next line. Same process. I just come to the end of the line. I click edit. I enter my counted quantity. Let's say that I have counted and my quantity is 36,000. The same thing. My quantity matches what the SMT is telling me that I should have. There's a discrepancy of 0. I click save. Then I move to the next one. I go to BOPV, this batch number. I click edit. I enter my stock quantity. In this case, I have counted 2,980 doses. So in this case, the SMT is telling me that there is a discrepancy of -20. So -20 doses are missing. This is what I'm supposed to have according to the SMT. This is what I really have in stock. So the SMT is calculating the discrepancy. So I can just click save. And then I continue doing the rest of my items. So let's assume that for the rest of the items the counted quantity also matches. So I'm going to do it quick. This is 50,000 as well. For the next IPV is also matching. So I'm just going to enter the quantity. It's important that, of course, when we conduct an inventory count, it's not just the vaccines that we need to count. We also need to do like the full count of our diluents as well, and our supplies. So syringes, safety boxes, and so on. So I'm going to continue entering the data for all the items. And finally, I have the syringes. I enter my counted quantity and I click save. So I have finished counting and you're registering the data for all the items that I have in stock. So now I want to finalize this process and I want the data to be registered. So I need to come here to finalize. However, if I try to click this button, I can see that the button is not working. This finalize is not active now. The reason for it is that I have a discrepancy here, the -20 discrepancy for the BOPV that I have not justified. So basically, when you encounter a discrepancy between the system quantity and the counted quantity that you have in the store, you have the option to just save the data and then review. Maybe you need to recount and then come back and either accept the adjustment or change the data. So in this case, if I have counted again and I have realized that it's not an error of counting, it is the fact that indeed there is a discrepancy, I come back to the edit button and I need to tick here accept adjustment. So basically I'm accepting that there is this discrepancy and that the SMT is going to correct that discrepancy in the stock overview and is going to register that discrepancy. So in that case, the comments also become mandatory. So I need to here justify what has happened. So in this case, I'm just going to enter that there was one vial of 20 doses missing during the stock count, for example. I click save. And now after I have accepted this adjustment and entered my comments, the finalize button now is active. Now I will be able to click finalize and this quantity will be adjusted. So I'm going to click finalize. The SMT is telling me to ensure the information is correct, because once I finalize this, the information cannot be modified. So that is why it's important to, when we find discrepancies, recount the quantities. So I'm very sure this is the case, so I'm going to click OK. And the SMT automatically is going to register the information, and I can see already here the system quantity that originally was 3000 now is 2980. If I go to my stock overview and I come here to BOPV, I can see that BOPV, my total quantity has been updated. So the correction is reflected in the stock overview. Now, there was a discrepancy of 20 doses that were missing. So that means there's 20 doses that were taken out of my stock. So all transactions that are registered into the SMT where there is a quantity that is taken out of the stock or that is put in the stock, that is going to be registered as well through the arrivals and the issuing screen. So in this case, because it was a quantity that was taken out, it was like a negative stock adjustment. If I come to the issuing screen, I'm going to see that this transaction here, where there was a physical count and there was something that was missing, has been registered. This gets registered automatically. So we enter the data through the physical count, and any negative adjustments will be reflected here in the issuing. And if we do any positive adjustments, the positive quantities will be registered in the arrivals. So if I click here, for example, to view, I'm able now to see all the details of the batch number and everything. And I can see what was the comments that I have made and what was the quantity that was adjusted. In this case, it was 20 doses. Okay. So this is all regarding the physical count functionality. Thank you for listening and see you in the next video.